GLAM, Los Angeles.
Hi, Kirby. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to Los Angeles. Can you believe that we've been doing this for so long?
Jesse, who helps run Melrose podcast where we record, was like, wow, like 6 years. He's like, that's a long time. I'm like, yeah.
It's a long time. Twice a week, 6 years.
And
have you ever been more consistent about anything in your life?
No. I truly, this is when I think, I'm like, I'm not a consistent person. I'm like, no, that's false. We've kept this going. We've kept this going.
Yes.
So
accountability partner in life.
It's our 6-year anniversary. Not officially when this goes live.
Yeah.
It's the day before, but July 9th is when we officially told the people, or actually that's when our first episode came out. We told the people July 2nd.
Right. I remember because I was in Paris on a press trip and that was like, you know, the big announcement. And I remember like having like waking up and making sure that like our socials were like, you know, ready. I remember exactly where I was. It was a very big day.
Yeah, I had just quit my job.
Yeah.
The Friday before.
Look at us now.
And now we have a 6-year-old. Older than Zoe.
So first
and
grade?
You have now 2 children.
Yeah. How old is Quinn?
She's going to be 5.
Yeah, older than Quinn.
I know. Quinn was just a glimmer in some dog's eye. Look at her now.
Chihuahua or
Terrier something
yeah.
mix. Well, we are so grateful that everyone has stood by us. Some of you have been here from the jump, and we love you for it. If you're brand new, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome.
Tell your friends. Leave a review.
Go back in the catalog. We've got a lot.
There's a
lot
lot
of good stuff.
There's some stuff that has remained true.
Yep.
There's stuff that has changed. I was an anti-Glossier girl.
Yeah,
look at me now. I was so hell-bent on loving Augustinus Botter. Don't care. Don't care.
Listen, we live and we learn. We're doing that together. All of us.
Brands have sold. Brands have been reacquired.
People have been canceled and then uncanceled.
Yeah, it's kind of when we get to 10 years, we'll do like a real, it'll be like a 400 episode tracking.
By then we'll have a team to help us really sift through everything.
A larger team to handle all of that.
Yeah.
But we figured, why don't we share our top 6 tips that we've learned over the past 6 years from not only each other, but our guests that we have interviewed, 3 for each of us. And then we're going to share some listener responses because we had some really good ones in the Slack. And if you commented in the Slack, please, I was reading those. I'm like, these should be reviews for the podcast. So go to Apple and
just copy and paste.
No, literally, just copy and paste it and leave it on Apple if you have not already. Okay, Sarah, do you want to kick things off with our top tips we've learned on Los Angeles?
Okay, I'll start with something that I feel like one person really drove home, but then like after having other guests on the podcast, like they really have supported this, which I think was very comforting for me, that retinol isn't for everyone.
Yes.
It's a powerful ingredient. It helps. It changes. It's really, really great if you can tolerate it. But if you can't, it's okay. It's okay.
I agree.
You can use vitamin C. There's so many other ingredients, other products that you can use, and you don't have to feel shame for it like I did for so long trying to make it work. It's okay. So Charlotte Palomino, I feel like was like, she came on the pod. When did she say that? You had her on when I wasn't here too, right? As a guest?
I
honestly
can't remember. I really can't. Sorry.
But anyways, she was the one who I feel like made the statement. And then any derm we've had on has really, supported that. So if you're still out there trying to make retinol happen and it's not,
that's
okay.
fine. That's fine.
It's not for everyone.
And also, just because one retinol doesn't work for you doesn't mean all of them won't.
Exactly.
There are some that you get over the counter that are way more tolerable. There's prescriptions that some people really like because they're compounded with other things.
Exactly.
So, okay, that's a good one. Mine is a tip on application that I do every single day since I've learned this tip from Jared Bailey of Benefit Cosmetics. And that is when you have an eyebrow pencil, after you've been using it for a while, it gets more rounded and it's not as sharp to create those tiny hair strokes. So you turn it over and you tap it on your counter to flatten it out again.
Yes.
I do it every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how I lived without this piece of advice.
Totally.
It is a complete game changer, and I do it every single day. And it gives me the precise little eyebrow hairs that I want with my eyebrow pencil, whether it's precisely my brow, which is what he taught us with, or even
You could use it on any brow pencil though.
Kosas Nano
Yeah.
brow, although you have to be super careful with that one because it's so tiny.
Yeah. The Kelly Zhang brow pencil that I use, I also do that
Sephora
too.
collection. I
Yep.
have that one. Anastasia Beverly Hills, which are like in
Yeah.
my rotation. So
Go back and listen to that episode.
such a good, that was one of our first guests.
Yeah. It was just all about brows, and he's like the man with all the answers. I feel like I literally learned how to do my brows because of Jared.
Yeah. He's the
Yeah.
best.
I miss him.
Okay.
This is something that I feel like keeps coming up, and something that I like constantly cite from our podcast is just that reef safe sunscreen and invisible mineral sunscreen is not a thing. Marketing terms matter, and you need to pay attention. 3 exclamation marks. Because it doesn't matter it doesn't matter that we know that it's not a regulated term. People are still using it every single day in their marketing. I get pitched all the time, reef safe sunscreen. Do not fall for it. It is not true. Be smart.
Yeah, it's not a real thing. And I'm actually really curious how Hawaii ended up
Yeah.
with this whole mandate. It's above my pay grade,
Yeah.
but everyone I have talked to has been like, there's actually bigger perpetrators than
Yeah.
the sunscreen that are actually causing these problems with the coral reefs.
Right. And then on that note, chemical sunscreen is safe. And the biggest takeaway is just to find a sunscreen that you enjoy wearing and wear it every single day, whether it's cloudy. Well, you don't have to put it on that much, but, just make it a habit of wearing it
Yes.
every single day.
Yeah. I mean, I talk to people that still don't wear face sunscreen, or they're just getting into face sunscreen. Growing up, I was never taught, and I don't think we were ever taught, that there was a specific amount that we needed to wear. I think now in 2025, people are so in the weeds of like, you have to use this much sunscreen to
Yeah.
get the protection that you need.
Yeah.
But I don't think the common sunscreen consumer even knows that.
Yeah.
They read on the back of a bottle that says either apply liberally
Yeah.
and reapply every 40
yeah,
minutes
or
or 2 hours.
After you get out of the water, after
Right.
you get out of the pool. Yeah.
Right. So I think that ultimately we have a sunscreen problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take. I think that I see how brands market their product. Then I see how influencers and experts judge those products.
Yeah.
And there's a complete disconnect from the consumer
Yep.
and how the consumer is actually wearing sunscreen,
Yeah.
purchasing sunscreen, and using it.
Yep.
I see people all the time on TikTok wearing a mineral sunscreen, Black women specifically, that have like a purple cast on their face because of
Yeah.
that white cast,
Yeah.
but they're wearing it under makeup, so they don't care.
I was at a dinner and I was speaking to a makeup artist who was Black, and she said, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to out her. She was like, I don't have a problem with the Tower 28 sunscreen. I actually love this product and I use it every day, just like I use the Ulta MD sunscreen that both leave a little bit of a white cast on me, but I always wear foundation over it. It's not a problem.
Right. So I think that there is the messaging issue of no white cast whatsoever.
Yes.
But they're basing that based off of how much a normal person typically wears.
Yes.
I love all of our experts.
Mhm.
We know them. They come on this podcast. We advocate for what they suggest because at the end of the day, you do want to get the full protection that these sunscreens are claiming. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say 95% of sunscreen purchasers are not using 3 fingerfuls,
Nope.
3 fat fingerfuls.
Nope.
They're not using a quarter teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sure as hell not reapplying. And so I think that knowing this, we need to yes, part of it is educating the consumer. I know Naturium on their cap shows you exactly how much you're supposed to use, which
So
is
smart.
so smart.
So smart.
But until every single sunscreen brand meant for your face is doing that and really educating people that buy their product how much they need to be using, I don't know. It's like the chicken or the egg. It's like, okay, are we going to teach them the proper way? Or are we just going to hope that they actually use the product in the minimal amount?
Exactly. Because it's like, I think in the year of 2025, I do want to believe that more people are wearing sunscreen than ever.
Same,
Because I would hope, especially like for your face.
With access to all the information we have.
Exactly. But yeah, to your point, I don't think that people are wearing it the way that they should be.
And like, we are in a beauty bubble.
We totally are.
We get online and we think because all we see all day is beauty this, beauty that, cancel this person, whatever, in the beauty community, that everybody feels this way or that everybody has this information.
Totally.
But I have girlfriends that are very beauty savvy, like know the top beauty products and beauty brands. They shop at Sephora's and at Ulta's, and they're pretty in the know, but they don't wear sunscreen.
Totally. Or they drive by that billboard that says your sunscreen is poisoning you. And then I'm getting texts about, oh my God, have I been using sunscreen that's killing me?
Yep.
Like, no.
Primarily Pure, you're on our shit list forever.
Truly, sorry.
Dumbest brand I've ever heard of. Primarily Pure? Who the fuck wants to
They're
wear
like
a
beef
brand?
tallow, yeah?
Yeah.
Probably.
No, it is.
Yeah, okay.
That's like
That's
their whole MO.
Thing.
It's
right.
like
it's the beef tallow sunscreen. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
It's like the whole thing with them is like beef tallow. I just do not understand. Anyways, when it comes to sunscreen, I don't like fear mongering, so I love that. I don't love just straight up marketing mumbo jumbo.
Yep.
So love that tip. But I also do think we need to figure out like how are we realistically talking about sunscreen?
I 100% agree.
This is another tip
Okay.
that changed my life. When Sophie Favit was our guest, go listen to her episode. I loved listening to her. Like, she comes to like Columbus, Ohio from the UK to work at Abercrombie. You're just like,
she's such a legend. By the way, I know everyone's talking about the Road Glazing face mist. Her new face mist is so good. Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's cooling.
It feels so good.
It's so great. I love all her products. And she really helped put mandelic acid on the map for me. She's known as the acne whisperer. So people come to see her to get their skin in great shape. And one thing that she said on the podcast was that when she has somebody come in and they're experiencing breakouts, she asks them a bunch of questions, including, do you drink oat milk?
Oh my God, yes.
And do you eat or drink greens powders? Do you have like spirulina in your diet in some way?
Are you an AG1 girly?
Yes. And she was just like, oat milk has, what is it? Oh, it's like seed oils.
Oh, yes.
It's a big conversation between like cosmetic chemists being like, seed oils aren't bad for you. But I think like in the aspect of like nutrition. But like when it comes to beauty stuff, she's like, you know, it's like hydrogenated seed oils.
It's extremely processed.
Oat
it's
milk.
Heavily processed.
And literally all I was drinking for like years was oat milk. And I was getting these insanely deep, giant cystic pimples like all the time. I could not get rid of them. I just figured it was a part of, you know, my cycle and just dealing with it. But it also like was happening not on my cycle. And so she was like, cut out oat milk. And then she also mentioned like the greens powders, like because spirulina is an algae and like ingesting it, you know, put it on your face, whatever, but like ingesting it can cause these issues and it'll clear things up. I had already cut out oat milk at that point because I was just like, I need to see what's going on. And then I'm like, oh my God, I think that's why my skin is clearing up.
Yeah.
And then when she mentioned the algae thing, you could not, it's like a biotin for me.
Yeah.
If something has biotin in it, I will not take it. If something has
algae,
spirulina or any of those greens in it, I will not. Sorry, AG1, I will not take it. Like I just like absolutely refuse.
Yeah.
Because I really did see the effects of cutting out oat milk on my skin.
Totally.
I have not had a deep cystic pimple in God knows how long.
But also like wasn't your fault because oat milk was everywhere. It was like, it was the new almond milk and it was in every latte. And some places that was literally the only milk option, milk quote unquote. So, I mean, don't blame yourself.
Yeah, but you know what? So I recently posted like, hey, one of the best tips I ever learned was from Sophie Pavitt about removing these two things. I had so many people write me and go, Girl, when I listened to that episode, I also stopped and it completely changed my skin. My friend Vanessa wrote me and was like, wait, hold on. Like, this could be a game changer for me because like I can't figure out where these cystic pimples are coming from.
Yeah.
It is, if you are dealing with skin issues and you can't really pinpoint what's going on, but you are like getting that oat milk latte or you're drinking an AG1 before you go to the gym, just cut them both out and see what happens.
You guys, this is not sponsored by Big Milk or Big Cow, but like
whole milk is my jam. Whole milk is my jam.
Whole milk and I told you this already. Fairlife, because the sugar content is way lower. So
really,
it's like I think it's like 7 grams versus like 11 grams, if that's something you care about. Which the sugar obviously also affects skin. So, anyways, cut the oat milk.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
There we go. There we go.
That was
so dumb. Okay. What's your
we
last?
have our Gen Zers who are like, what the fuck
what the
was
hell
that?
is that? Okay. What is your last one?
Okay, my last one, I'm changing it because I'm changing it.
Okay.
But you have to help me remember who said it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. If any of y'all remember.
I think it was Melissa Herkman, but correct me if I'm wrong. I used to not be a setting spray person.
Okay.
But I learned that one, not all setting sprays are created equal. I do love the one size one, even though I can't breathe when I wear it. I have to like hold my breath. But 2, I wasn't applying enough. You have to drench your face in setting spray in order for it to work. And I know that feels wrong because you're like, oh my God, I'm getting all of my makeup wet. But that is the only way for it to then dry down and set your face. I feel like it was Melissa.
That's a good one. I don't remember if she said that. I was actually going to include a Melissa Herkman.
A strategic powdering?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to mention that too.
I was going to say strategic powdering, but then I was like, that's a good one. So
no, but
honorable mention.
It's one of those things where it's like stating the obvious. Like we think that everyone knows, but people don't know.
Right.
You have to be strategic about your powdering.
Strategically powder, per Melissa Herkman, drench your face with the setting spray and drench your hair with Color Wow Dream Coat, per Chris Appleton.
Yes.
And
Color Wow. Did you see that he's like really fighting to do Britney's hair?
Okay, I need to actually talk about this.
Because I also was going to send it to Clayton because I think Clayton should be the one who does Britney's hair.
Nobody is going to touch Britney's hair. She doesn't want you to. I love Clayton Hawkins dearly. Made me a Britney Spears wig, okay?
Don't you think he'd be the right one though? Or who would be your pick?
I'm just going to put this out there. I don't want anybody bothering Britney Spears, and I don't want Britney Spears tarnishing the name of my friends who do great hair because, and I say this lovingly, Britney does not want her hair touched. She had been touched her entire childhood and most of her adult life, being told what to do, being told what her image is.
Okay.
Let her be a fairy. Let her be a fairy. Like, I love Chris, but I literally commented on TikTok, Britney does not want her hair touched. And honestly, talking about making content around giving Britney a makeover is giving, not hater, but I'm like, this is like embarrassing for her.
Right.
Like you think you're doing a nice thing, but then the whole time you're talking about how she needs a makeover.
Right. I feel like he did it in a kind way though.
I'm not saying he did it with malicious intent.
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm just
of course
saying
not.
That's
not the way to go about it.
Right. If you really want to do Britney's hair,
yeah,
you reach out to her team personally.
Totally.
But like, can you imagine her sitting in a chair and Chris Appleton being like, okay, guys, I'm here with Britney Spears and we're going to do her. And it's just like, she's not going to do it.
No, she won't.
She's not going to do it. She had some amazing people working on her hair for her wedding and for a variety of other things. And we kind of saw how that went. So she clearly does not want people touching her hair. She goes and gets it colored. She does her own thing. Not to beat a dead horse, but leave Britney alone. We do not need Britney's hair. Britney just needs to focus on doing whatever the hell she wants and not keeping up appearances for people.
Protecting her peace.
Love Chris and Clayton dearly, but Clayton's also not campaigning to do Britney's hair.
Of course not.
But he would be the perfect one.
I think so.
Like his looks on Addison, I'm like, it's giving baby Britney. It's giving baby 100%.
Britney.
It makes me so happy. And that's what he should be doing.
She's just so cute.
I'm obsessed with her.
Cute as a button.
Love. Okay.
So now let's get into our listeners.
No, I have my last one.
Oh, sorry, I forgot you.
I have my last one. And this one's going to be really simple. When Dr. Karam was on the podcast, he talked.
Dr. Karam.
I can't do that. No, whatever. Love Dr. Karam. Dr. Karam's an incredible plastic surgeon, and he specializes in facelifts. You guys loved him when he was on the pod, and he talked about things that he would never do. One of the things that he brought up was RF microneedling. And I had gotten RF microneedling before, and I didn't realize, and this was several years ago, but how deep the radio frequency goes can really affect the volume in your face. Like you might be doing it because you're trying to get more of like a lifted, firmer look, but then because it's going too deep, it is completely destroying the fat deposits in your face, which then make you look gaunt. It can create jowls and all these other things. And he just said that there's new technology out there where you can see how deep it goes.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was just like
going in. Yeah.
And so ever since then, I have been super, super careful about anything that has radio frequency.
Yeah.
It's like I love microneedling and I think it's great, but like I am not willing to risk it doing it with radio frequency.
Yeah. That's really a good one. I feel like too, ever since we had Jumi's song on, I've just also been really, really more careful about the different treatment offerings that are being given to us.
Yep.
Because I'm like, if it, like what she said, which, you know, obviously to each their own, and there are some really incredible treatments that are more invasive, but she was like, if your skin is like unhappy and freaking out when you are doing something, that's probably a bad sign.
Even when I see people that go to Korea and they get
the Rejurin.
Yeah, the Rejurin, those little balls in their face, I'm just like, that does not look.
And the pain that you were enduring for that, to me is not, I'm like, I'm out.
And I think maybe one of our friends posted about getting it done.
Michelle Lee just did it.
Okay. Respectfully, I did not see a difference.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, her skin was already
she
amazing.
literally has beautiful skin.
But yeah, I asked her and she was like, honestly, it was so painful. And I was like, that's all you needed to say.
Yeah, I'm not willing. Like Thermage, by the way, we'll never do Thermage again.
Yeah,
like we'll never.
that was too much.
Thermage is crazy.
Like
I don't know how people do it.
When you traumatize your skin, I just don't think that that's good.
The only thing I'm really interested in is Ultherapy because I have seen before and afters of women over 6 months getting Ultherapy, and there's a different one. There's I'm blanking on the name, but the before and afters are crazy in terms of like the lift and the firmness of the skin, and that's something like I'm personally interested in, and so I have been really like the past several months like looking into it.
Yeah,
but we get emails all the time being like, "Come try this treatment. Come try this treatment," and I really have kind of stepped back from like being open to trying
everything for the first time.
Yeah, like through a machine.
Let's wait. Let's wait a year or two.
Exactly. I feel like when I was younger, I was like, I need to do this to like know what it is.
Totally.
And now I'm kind of just like, call me in a year.
Same.
We'll see how it goes.
That's how I feel.
Someone else be the guinea pig.
Right. That's
I've been the guinea pig before.
You have. You literally
like
you built your career on being a guinea pig.
I think I'm good.
That's how I feel about the new like LED eyelash extensions that people are getting.
Oh
which
my God,
Michelle
no! I'm
also
literally
bought.
like, no.
I'm like, I don't think it's good to have LED like so close to your eyeballs.
Right.
Like even when we get like, you know, red light therapy during a facial, like we have to wear those little, you know, sun, like when you tan, but you shouldn't tan, when we wear the goggles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. Like, why are you putting your LED, which I feel bad. We're like, Michelle Lee did that as well.
But so did like Vanessa Lee.
But so did, like it's like the next new wave. And like, I am obviously like eyelash extension queen, but I was talking to Lou, my lash lady, about it. And she was like, I'm not going to do that until it's like FDA approved. And they say like, this is not affecting your eyeballs.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing Michelle did say, she was like, the lasers. She really, really saw a difference with the lasers. And that's something that I'm like I want to go see Vanessa for a pico laser. I feel like that seems like more tolerable.
I'm okay with a laser.
Yeah, I'm okay with the laser. But anything that's like a needle or, you know, that's going deep and really traumatizing our skin, like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
We already do so much.
Yeah. I'm like, I think I'm good. Like I would rather like talk to Dr. Karam and be like, give me a platysmoplasty in 5 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, just one fell swoop, everything's done. Okay, so those are our top tips. Then we have listeners that chimed in. Do you want to pull these up?
Yeah. Okay. We got so many good ones. Okay, so the first one is from Jessica Sahagan. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name. She says, my favorite episode was the JVN episode. I was surprised that as a big name, he wasn't getting his payments on time. A big mistake was not having something in writing. This episode made him seem down to earth. I appreciate him sharing so much in that episode. After listening to him, I've become a bigger fan of his. Totally. I think that was like such a shocker.
That was a great episode. We were thrilled.
Which is one of Kirby's biggest tips is to have a good lawyer.
Yeah, truly.
Reading those contracts. Although, JVN read the contracts and I think was led to believe that it was a good partnership. But yeah.
Yeah. And I love that JVN was open about the fact that they aren't a Kardashian and don't have Kardashian money to be able to turn things around in the way that, they wanted to.
Right.
But now I think things are good.
Totally. I feel like it's turned around. The brand's doing amazing. And, we've done Los Angeles Confidential with them. And I feel like so many people are like, oh my God, I didn't realize JVN Hair was such an amazing hair brand.
Yeah, people love it.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Lauren that says, honestly, the episode that still to this day stands out to me is the episode with Sigma Beauty. This was like year one.
Lauren, you're an OG.
Wow.
You are
Lauren,
an OG.
I am impressed. I remember you all discussing the 40 HD Kabuki brush, and to this day, it's still my favorite concealer under eye powder brush. I am also forever grateful for y'all's insight on the term quote unquote clean beauty. I love that she put it in quotes.
Mm-hmm.
I would never have known it wasn't a regulated term and would have fallen for the tactics.
Girl, same.
Same.
I love that. Okay. Christine Boothby. I've always enjoyed the experts like Dr. Karam and Dr. Appa, founders like Charlotte Palomino, Beck and Ava, and the true beauty insider discussions on things like formulations, Ron Robinson and Javon Ford, and trademark usage rights. Nerd alert. I've learned so much and it's made me a smarter shopper as well as discover smaller brands that have amazing products that actually work and walk the walk. Thanks, Los Angeles.
That's very sweet.
Thank you.
Jesse Clayton says, a tip that stands out, powdering my lashes before mascara. Genius. Yes, it helps to eliminate clumping, which is, I love that you learned that. So many awesome product recommendations. Swede Serum. Yes, I do love that one. The G Beauty Prime Skin, which is awesome, and I still use it. The Graftobian Yellow Powder. Yes.
You and Janet.
Janet influenced Jesse on that one. Love it.
Okay. Janelle Waldrop. I feel like listening has made me a more informed beauty shopper. I don't waste my money on gimmick products anymore and have learned so much from the founders' episodes.
Oh, yay.
Thank you. That is literally that is one of the main reasons why we started this podcast. So I'm just so happy to hear that 6 years later, it is still a big takeaway.
Okay, Mallory Gendron says, I am terrible at not only retaining but regurgitating info. But whenever people say, oh, yes, you need reef safe sunscreen, I always reply with, that's not even regulated or proven. I don't know the details, but I heard it on my beauty podcast. Great. Just send them the link to our episode and we can help you.
Oh, I love that so much. Okay, Jihyun No. Apologies if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Not wiggling your tubing mascara.
That is such a good tip from Elise Renew.
Yes.
Renault.
Yeah.
Renault.
That was such a good one.
Okay, Giselle says, I loved the Chris Appleton Color Wow episode, learning how he did JLo's iconic bombshell hair. Okay, Joanna says, you gals are so great at picking guests with great personalities. It's hard to narrow down a fave. Thank you, because literally that is probably the hardest part of our job is making sure that the person coming on actually knows what they're talking about and has the personality to be able to describe what they are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I loved episodes with industry experts, founders, OG beauty people like Charlotte Palomino, Mark Townsend. I can listen to him for hours. Daniel Martin, Rose Syard, Javon Ford, which we're going to have Javon in studio soon, which we're really excited about. Also, the best thing I've learned from Los Angeles is how to think critically about products before buying. I've become conscious about my consumption and have had so much less buyer's remorse. The GA Slack channels with my fellow glams is the best resource for honest product reviews. Love that.
Amazing. Okay, Cecilia Mihan. My absolute favorite guest was Jumi Song. I loved her and her energy, and more importantly, I learned so much about skin and the lymphatic system. The Japanese practice that estheticians follow compared to Western practices was fascinating and made me much more intentional with my own personal routine, as well as what I look for in my estheticians. Her commentary on retinol, on cleansing, on facial massages had me looking at my skincare routine completely differently. Cecilia also says she does the exercises that Juhi showed near the end of the episode frequently and have added more and really like the results. Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah Steinfeld says, favorite ep was with Sean Neff. What a cool guy. Super engaging speaker. I had no idea he was behind my favorite beanies. I also really enjoyed the episode with the creator of Alpin Beauty, Kendra, as well as K18, Suveen. I have loved following the journey of both of you through the podcast and online. I've been following Kirby since her Pop Sugar days. I am very picky with podcasts. I get bored, but listen to Los Angeles every week. Thank you, Sarah, for listening.
She's followed you since your guinea pig days.
My guinea pig days. Yes.
Okay. Last, we have Samantha Siegler. She said, I began listening in February 2020. Wow. Thank you, Samantha. Loved being introduced to Dr. Samolitis and became instantly addicted to following Bettina Goldstein. We need to have Bettina in the studio again. Trixie Mattel and the Lipstick Lesbians are absolutely guest fabes. Data Girl and Wife are all time favorite segments. The best tips I've picked up are the strategic powdering from Melissa Herkman and applying a tubing mascara straight without wiggling from Elise Renault via Danielle Chinchilla. Bonus shout out to Going Bananas for all things bananas. What did I text you? I said Guava Girl Summer, Banana Girl Year.
Banana Girl Year. Last year was Pipsqueak Girl.
Now it's going to be banana.
I'm telling you, banana is it. And we keep getting emails and I'm like just screenshotting it and sending it to Sarah. I'm like, banana. It's banana, baby.
It's like banana pudding, banana flavored this, banana yellow.
If you like newsletters, subscribe to mine because I'm going to be doing a banana breakdown of all my favorite banana products because it's very important to me.
Is it sponsored by Chiquita Banana?
No, literally, Chiquita, where are you, babes? I get over here.
Oh my God, you should be the Chiquita Banana lady for
Chiquita Banana
for Halloween.
Well, is that like appropriation? I don't really want to,
Yeah, okay. I'm scared.
No, I am always scared. I just don't want to.
Just be a banana.
I'll just be a banana.
Banana. That's
more
on brand.
Peanut butter jelly time. The children don't know what we're talking about.
Oh my God. Again.
Okay, amazing. So I guess that's it.
I feel like I want to hear more. So please share more tips you've learned for us. We just did this on Slack. So I want to hear from like our Instagram, family, Facebook, everywhere. Tell us what you've learned from us or our guests, lessons, things you've bought, all the things. We want to know.
Awesome. And thank you guys for listening for 6 years.
Yay! We're still here.